I'm Justin Cohen. Welcome to Gurus. Steve Jobs said, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so that they can tell us what to do. Well, that means creating a high-performance culture of intrapreneurs. That's employees that think like entrepreneurs. And the man who makes that happen is Joof. He's trained over 300,000 people, spoken at the United Nations, and ranked in the top 100 business and motivational speakers on the planet.
Thank you. If you had 48 hours to live, what would you do? The funny thing, anytime I ask that question is, most people forget about all their problems. All they focus on is the now. What is it I can do now? Because if you think about it very carefully, the past is the past, it's gone. The future is just a speculation. Everything happens when? You got to say it with power. Well, everything happens when? Now. Right now, in the now. And here's what I notice when I go to organizations or when I'm groups with thousands of people, they call me the igniter. But the way I take that is, I am just the messenger. You are the gurus of your own life. You are the gurus of your own business. I look into your eyes, I feel your energy, you give me a message, I repackage it and give it back to you. It's always been your message. Somewhere in the line, you shut off. You're not showing it anymore to the world. You're cutting yourself short. What if everybody on your team brought the best of them? Just the best of them. That one thing that they can do. Because think about it. I'm taken, by the way. There's no other par. There's only one of me. And there's also only one of you. In my books, that makes you a miracle, yes? Some of you are saying, I'm not sure. But let me break it down for you. Mommy and daddy got together. Daddy released one of those ones. Out of a billions, one connected and you came out. And that means there's only one of you. But to sum it all up, how do you create culture? Culture requires energy. Culture requires energy. You know, I told you earlier on, I'm quite a weird guy. And when I wake up in the morning, are you going to work with me here a little bit? So you're going to be my alarm bell, all right? And it's 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to wake up and you're going to make a noise of alarm bell, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Most people wake up, think about their lives, think about their problems. Snooze button. One more time. Wake up again. Think about all the problems that they have. The world is on their shoulders. They're too small. They don't believe in themselves. What do? They press the what? Oh, God. So would you like to see how I wake up? It's scary. It's weird. Some of you are going to look for the nearest exit. So one more time with energy. Here we go. Oh my God, it's a new day. Every day above ground is a great day, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Gurus. Is the 9-to-5 employee mindset not just fundamentally different to an entrepreneurial mindset? Can we instill the entrepreneurial mindset into an employee?
Absolutely. I'm a big believer everybody's responsible for their own lives, and I call that personal leadership. You know, you talk about the 9-to-5. Most successful people that I know is work after 9-to-5. That's when their day starts. You know, the 9-to-5 is when they implement. The other time they're getting ready for what's about to come, ready to own their day. And for me, it's like I'm from a small country called the Gambia. It's the smallest country in the world, poorest by many means. Financially, but you know, for me, it's just a thinking process. You know, I remember my dad saying to me, "Pa, you know, we're from a third world country, and you know, you won't be able to achieve a lot of things. Go get a good job, and go get a good education, get a good job, and come take care of us." That was my dad's plan. But I had some other desires, and when I look around my whole neighborhood, I saw people who had given up hope, who have said, you know what, they've settled to be a third world country. And I said, you know what, I don't want my life to be a warning. I want it to be an example. And that's what drove me to show what's possible. So I don't only have 9 to 5, I have more than 9 to 5. I've got 24 hours a day. We all have 24 hours. It just depends what you put in those 24 hours.
So how do we create that intrapreneurial mindset within our teams?
Well, it's one of the first things when I was speaking earlier on, it's the first thing that's very important is the question why. Everybody needs to know their why. The organization that you're working in needs to have a why. And believe it or not, most organizations don't have a why.
And this is really about purpose, right? This is about our reason for being. Absolutely critical. So it's not just what we do, how we do it, when we need to get it by. We need to actually be driven by a sense of mission.
Absolutely, absolutely. The how question is, you know, when you ask a how question, you can get gazillion answers. There's normally one why that supersedes all those hows.
Right. And that really is the first step of the entrepreneurial mindset.
Absolutely.
Know your why. Know your reason.
Why.
And the interesting thing is, if you look at great entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, like Steve Jobs, it wasn't about making an extra buck, right? It was about a transformational purpose.
Absolutely. You think about this. You know, most of the richest people in the world never had a university education. Never had a university education. They control nearly 95% of the wealth of the world. Most of the people who've got the degrees, the PhDs, and they said, there's nothing wrong with having all of those because yes, you go for it. I've got my degrees. I'm still doing my PhD. But it's just to remember that the first thing is the difference between somebody who's got the PhDs working in a restaurant and somebody like Elon Musk and some of the other great people who are great leaders is they have a big enough reason why.
How else do we create the entrepreneurial mindset?
Well, I think the other way for me is letting people fail because the quicker they fail, the more they learn. It's funny, it's like failure was not accepted. You know, when I was going to school, you raise your hand and the teacher says something like, you got the wrong answer, everybody laughs at you. That's the time most people shut up for the rest of their lives.
And we know entrepreneurs fail 3.8 times before they finally succeed.
Absolutely.
If you're not failing, you're not going to learn anything, right? As the Dalai Lama says, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. So entrepreneurs, we know fail. Entrepreneurs need to be allowed to fail by their organizations.
Absolutely. And Google, one of the greatest examples, Google had this innovation type of policy where 20% of the time their employees could do whatever they want to do. They can work on whatever project that they think could benefit the company. And believe it or not, that's how AdSense got created, that's how Gmail got created. By just letting them go do what they do.
Fail fast, fail often, right? I mean, that's pretty much the mantra in Silicon Valley. But again, that's, entrepreneurs know that, but we've now got to bring that into the organization too.
And that's the only way we can create innovation really now because the change of technology, it's rapid. Yesterday's technology will be obsolete in probably 6 months and a year. You know, it's the rapid pace that things are going at. So we need creative minds. We need people who mission-driven. You know, coming there to add something, you know, not coming there just to take, coming to bring their best to the table.
And often managers, I think, don't realize that people actually want a mission. There's a beautiful study from Wharton Business School, salespeople who are either going with what I call a missionary mindset, which is basically you're on a mission to make a difference in clients' lives, versus those with a mercenary mindset, as in what's in it for me, what's the commission that I'm going to earn. And the fascinating thing, and by the way, these mindsets can be primed very easily, and managers do it all the time. When you talk about commissions exclusively, you're putting people into a missionary mindset. When you talk about how we make a difference in our clients' lives, we put them in a missionary mindset. The missionaries doubled the results of the mercenaries.
Absolutely.
And yet, we're still focused on commission. Not to say commissions don't have a place, but we've really got to be talking more about mission.
I normally say this, if your why is bigger than you, if you want to create something that it's bigger than you, you don't know how to do it, you know, but you have this inner yearning that you're going to make this happen. The journey, you know, they say, don't fall in love with the destination, fall in love with the journey. It's the journey that creates character. And the journey is the why. The people who are asking the how question, and there's nothing wrong with answering the how question, sometimes they stop at the first obstacle and
Sure,
they ask how again.
Absolutely.
When you're why, you don't care how. You just know, you know where you're going.
Right. Well, that was Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor, right? He used to quote Friedrich Nietzsche. He said, he who has a why to live can be almost any how.
Absolutely.
You think about the missionaries who arrived on this continent. I mean, they would do whatever they had to because they had this abiding mission.
Yep.
So you got to know your why. You got to be willing to fail. What's number 3?
It's owning your power. And it's funny, I see a lot of people who've just lost their power. Meaning, you know, they wake up in the morning, they get in their car, you know, they say they drive in a box, they go to work in a box, and they come back home, they watch TV in a box, and they end up dying in a box. Sorry.
Sure, that's cheery.
What I say is they have this limited view of the world. And you see, we're human beings. We're the most evolved species on planet Earth. And we're not designed to play small. We're not designed to play small. We're designed to play big. And if you think about it, playing small and playing big takes the same amount of energy. Even probably playing small takes more energy than playing big. So you might as well do big things, create big things. And to create big things, you need to have this inner power. Yep. And it's this, and you got to work at it. Some days I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. You know, every time I wake up in the morning, I was showing it, I jump out of bed. Some days it's not easy. Some days I don't want to get out, but I got to do it. And you know, it's funny. I got 3 boys, and all 3 of them are autistic. My oldest boy, I never knew he was watching me when I get out of bed. And you know, kids, their brains are like a sponge. And anytime I get out of bed in the morning, he's watching me. Guess how he gets out of bed in the morning? Kids naturally jump out anyway. But I do something cool also when I jump out of bed. I go check myself in the mirror. I have this tall mirror. I'm a tall guy, so I've got this long mirror. I look at myself and I say, Pa, you're God's gift to mankind. Pa, you're every woman's dream. Pa, you got the world in your hand. I say it over and over again. Say it, and making my voice say it, because you know what? I'm conditioning myself. Guess what my son does? He wakes up in the morning, he runs to the mirror, but you know, kids, they're so articulate. He looks at himself and looks and he goes,
Beautiful. And we're taught to be modest, right? We're taught to rein it in. And what that means is that we actually walk in with half the power that we have. So own your power.
Own the power. When he looks in that mirror, he looks at himself and he falls in love with himself. Most people look at the mirror and look the other way because they don't like what they see. And there they say power's gone just like that.
Pa Joof, thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.